Bear Nation, welcome back to the Bear Down Podcast. What an offseason we had this weekend. If you missed it, make sure you guys hit that eye in the sky. Check out the players that have been added to the team and also meet our new offensive coordinator. Lincoln Riley comes over from Oklahoma. We'll talk about that more later on in the podcast. Today's podcast packed full of a lot of things, so make sure you guys get your snacks, sit back and relax. It's going to be a good one. We're talking one-on-one with Coach Thomas today, and he's answering some of your questions. Also, we're going to be looking at the new schedule going into Season 7, an early look at the recruiting board, and unfortunately, we are not able to have a spring game this year. If you guys know what's been going on in the world, the virus has taken over Arkansas A&M. We are not allowed to have a spring game, but Coach said we can take a look at the roster. He's already got his depth chart set up. We'll take a look at that and get ready to kick off Season 7 with the new updated schedule. It's going to be a good one, guys. But first, let's check in with our sponsor for today. It's Manscaped. Tournament season is here, baby, and it's time to take care of all your hair and holes with the best tools for the job. I'm talking about my sponsor today, Manscaped. It's the global leader in men's grooming from head to toe. When that clock winds down in March, make sure you're clutch and avoid the upset with Manscaped's Performance Package to keep all your hair and holes tamed. Now, shout out to Manscaped, man. They're trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. They want you to join their movement and start taking care of your balls. That's important. Take care of your balls. If you head over to their website right now, manscaped.com, use the code BIGCGOTGAME. You're going to get 20% off of your purchase and free shipping. That's when you go to manscaped.com, use the code BIGCGOTGAME for your exclusive offer. Now, we all know our brackets are not going to be perfect, but with Manscaped's Performance Package, you can be confident that your nose, your ears, and your balls will be. But shout out to Manscaped. Real talk, man. They're doing something dope. Your purchase goes towards a good cause because they're partnered up with the GOAT, LA Lakers star Alex Caruso, and the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. So head over to their website, manscaped.com, use the code BIGCGOTGAME. You get 20% off plus free shipping. So thank you, Manscaped, for making our holes look sexy during the dance. Again, thank you to Manscaped for being the sponsor of the Bear Down Podcast. Guys, we are going into year 7 with Coach Randy Thomas at the helm. If you remember back to season 1, 0-12, we got 4 wins in our second season, and then we just took over college football after that. Double-digit wins the past 4 seasons. Last year, undefeated, 13-0. This year, it's going to be a tough year. We have a tougher schedule. We'll take a look at that here in a few minutes. But with a lot of returning starters on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, it's doable. We do welcome 2 new coordinators to Conway this year. Starting off is defensive coordinator Brian Borland. He's a secondary specialist, one-on-one with the corners and the safeties. He's known for bringing a lot of press coverage, man coverage. We're excited to have him on campus this year. But offensively, I think we might have the best offensive coordinator in the country right now. Lincoln Riley comes over from Oklahoma. This guy is a pass specialist. Craig Washington could be up for the Heisman Trophy this year with Lincoln Riley as his OC. Now, as I mentioned before, we do have a lot of returning starters back this year, led by Craig Washington at quarterback. The redshirt sophomore could be in for a big year this year. He's got a lot of weapons around him, too. Ira Harris takes over at running back this year for his junior year. He's coming off a 1,000-yard season, 20-plus touchdowns. His backup is going to be Philip Fagan. He's more of a power back of the two. And then we also have Anthony Bryant. He's going to be looking for playing time, too. He's coming off his red shirt. Already coaches saying he reminds them of Corey Gonzalez when he first got on campus. The wide receiver room gets better, led by Trey Morgan, wideout number 1, the junior, 94 overall, great speed. He's more of a possession type receiver for us, but coming off a almost 1,000-yard season last year, Trey is going to be looking to win the Biletnikoff either this year or next year. I think if we get him the ball enough, he could definitely be on the list this year. 99 catching, 95 route running. He's going to be going up against teams' best corners. But that's where Richie Carroll comes in. We're going to move Richie out of the slot to the outside. He's with a 6'2 frame. I think he'll be a better matchup on the outside. And that moves Will Johnson into the slot. He's fast. He's a matchup nightmare. He's got great route running, great hands. I think that he's going to be a killer wide receiver in the slot his senior year. But don't sleep on this guy. Donald Thomas is going to be looking for playing time too. 93 speed. He's got 95 route running. Hands still aren't quite there yet. I think with another year in the offense, he's going to be a better wideout. And then Tariq Larson, we already know he is dynamic once he gets his hands on the ball. The catching's not that great, but it's what he can do after he catches the ball. The moves, the speed. He's a dangerous player for us. Big question mark going into this season is at tight end. Patrick Cook is more of a blocking tight end for us, so he will not be used too much in the passing game. So it's going to be between redshirt freshman Adam Lawson, 6'4", 250 from California, or Will Rogers, the converted wide receiver to tight end. Now, Rogers is an interesting prospect because he's got great speed, 87 speed, 88 acceleration. Got great hands, great spec catch. Catch of traffic is solid, but he's a great route runner. Only problem is he can't block to save his life. But Adam Lawson, on the other hand, great route running, solid blocker. He's just not as fast. His catching is great. So I imagine these two will see a lot of playing time early this year, and hopefully one can separate from the other and become the starting tight end. The offensive line is going to be concerned this season. We lost 4 starters to graduation, so we're going to be young, very young on the offensive line. Will Horn will be your starting left tackle, the true sophomore from Victoria, Texas, 6'7", 314, great size, great pass block, great acceleration, and solid strength. We're going to rely heavy on him this year. At left guard, we're going with true freshman Drew White. 6'4", 277. He's a run blocker with great strength. Impact block is solid. My only concern is his agility. We like to pull our left guard on counters a lot. So hopefully he can get out to the outside and set that edge for our running backs. Up the middle, John Hawkins takes over at center, but he will get pushed by Tyrone McMillan, the true freshman, 6'2", 290 from Ohio. But I think Hawkins should be a solid center for us. Another great run blocker, solid speed. The acceleration, agility definitely needs some work. But he's been in the offense for, 2 years now, 3 years. I think it's his time. I think he's ready to take over at center. Right guard, we kick Keith Smith inside. He was playing right tackle for us. He was a backup right tackle. He'll get the start at right guard this year. 83 overall, great blocking traits, 87 pass, 86 run, 81 impact block, and he is strong. So I think he has found his new position at guard, and it should be a great fit for him. And then our lone returning starter from last year on the offensive line is Curtis Maynard at right tackle, 6'4", 351, 86 overall. He is a pass blocker. Run blocking is not that great, but he's got great impact block, great strength, acceleration, just a solid tackle for us. And I'm excited to see what he can do in his junior year. He's going to be the captain of this group. To the defensive side of the ball, and we are led by 2 seniors that I think this year need to have a monster year for our defense. First up is Kyle Butler, the pass rush specialist. The Butler did it. 96 overall this year, 99 finesse move, 88 block shed, tackle. We already know what Kyle can do. He is a special talent, and I think this is his year to really have a breakout season. I believe he can have between 10 to 15 sacks this year. His backup this year will be Caleb Walker, the redshirt freshman from New Jersey. He is more of a power rusher with some finesse moves. He's not the quickest defensive end with 69 speed, but I'm excited to see what this redshirt freshman can do on the field. He can get off blocks very well. He's a great tackler, and he gets after the quarterback. We'll have a new starting right defensive end this year. Corey Bentley will get the start. The redshirt junior from right here in Arkansas, 77 speed, 89 acceleration. He's your power rusher. He's going to be playing on the opposite side of Kyle Butler, who's more of your finesse rusher, but he still gets off of blocks. Great power move. The hit power is there. I'm thinking that he could have anywhere between 7 to 8 sacks this year. And then there's Calvin Mullins, a 6'5", 264-pound senior defensive end. This guy is a pass rush specialist. We're going to be using him in the dime and the nickel a lot this year. 95 finesse move, can get off of blocks, great speed and acceleration. We are planning on using a 3 defensive end set in the dime with Corey Mark being the lone defensive tackle. I think with all the pass rush specialists we have on the defensive line, putting those 3 defensive ends, Mullins, Bentley, Butler, and teaming them up with Mark, we should be able to get after the quarterback this year on 3rd and longs. And another player coming off his red shirt is Trey Turner, the 6'5", 240-pounder from Oklahoma. Again, another one of those special players, man. I think in the next couple of years, he should be one of the best pass rushers, one of the best defensive ends in the country. So we keep producing great defensive tackles. We lost 3 to graduation at the end of last year, but Corey Mark is back for his senior year, and he's due to have a breakout year. I think that Corey Mark and Kyle Butler have to have a breakout year if we plan on making a run at the Natty this year. The finesse moves, the power moves are almost maxed out. The block shedding is almost maxed out. Great strength, great tackle. I want him to have double-digit sacks this year, and I think he can. And at the second defensive tackle position, it'll be a rotation because James Riley, he deserves to have playing time. The big fella, 6'6", 326, 78 speed for his size. That's amazing. Great power move. Gets off of blocks very well. I think, in our base defense, in our nickel defense, he'll be playing that defensive tackle position. And then our base defense, Jimmy Stewart, 6'6", 279. He's a redshirt senior. He'll be that defensive tackle. He's a hole plugger. He can, get off of blocks. Power move is great. The block shedding is solid, and he's very strong. I think him teamed up with Corey Mark, and we'll put Bentley and Butler in our base defense. It's going to be hard to run against that front 4. But we can't forget about true freshman Garrett Anderson, one of the top recruits from our class this past season. 6'3", 273. I think he's going to be next in line. He's going to be a big player for us coming in the next couple of years. I would give him the next 2 years. He's going to be like a high 80s player. All 3 linebackers are back from last season. Ben Bowen will be playing left outside linebacker. He got faster and the hit power got better. Great tackler for his size, 6 foot 224, and he can lower the boom. We're going to get him on the field a lot more this year. At middle linebacker, you got Brian Jones, the captain of this team, 89 overall. Again, another All-American season is going to be a must for him. He'll be playing all 3 downs at middle linebacker this year. Where things get interesting is at right outside linebacker. We have Chris Johnson back for his sophomore year. A solid player, great tackler. Honestly, I think going into his senior year, we might kick him on the inside to play middle linebacker once Brian Jones graduates. But last year, solid season for him, 12 tackles, 2 TFLs. He had a pass deflection. But the player that everybody is excited to see on the field, David Sims, the true freshman from right here in Arkansas. This kid is going to be a star for the A&M Bears defense. 85 speed, 91 acceleration, 78 tackle, great pursuit, the zone coverage and man coverage. He's going to be great against the pass. I can line him up against tight ends. He will probably get the nickel start at the other linebacker position. Might have to go up against Ben Owens. We'll see. But I can see him playing nickel linebacker. Honestly, in our 4-4, we could put him on the outside. This kid is just a very good player, and we got to get him on the field this year. To the DB room, we are stacked at corner. I'm excited to see what these guys can do, led by Jason Harris, back for his junior year, maxed out pretty much in coverage ability. He's going to be on an island. Harris Island, that's what we're going to call it. 93 speed, 98 man coverage, 98 zone, 99 press, 96 play rec. Again, I think Jason is going to be a great cornerback number 1. My concern is at corner number 2. We have a lot of guys that can step up and play this role, but Matt Scott will get the start. Great size, 6'2", 190. Great speed, 94 speed, 95 awareness. The man coverage is kind of iffy. 88 man, 90 zone, 92 press. In our new defense, we are going to be playing a lot of press coverage. I'm glad he has great speed because that gives him the ability to recover, if a wide receiver gets past him. But I think that he can have a solid year. He had a great end of last season. We're excited to see what he can do. And then Bill Jennings. Bill Jennings is going to be our nickel corner. Now, Bill is kind of on the smaller side, 5'10", 184. Great speed, though. 90 zone, 86 man. Third downs, we like to run a lot of cover 3, cover 4. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits into this. He's a great tackler as well for his size, 66 tackle. I'm excited to get him on the field. We recruited him thinking that he was going to be a star corner. This is his time to shine. I think he got in the bowl game. He made a couple plays. In the Big 12 championship last year, he made a lot of plays. This is his time to step up and get a lot more playing time, and we're excited for Bill. Now, our dime corner is going to be a battle between Casey Buchanan and Jermaine Coco this year. Casey comes in as a JUCO transfer, 95 speed, 90 acceleration, 90 agility, solid coverage ability, 82 man, 84 zone, 86 press. I think he might get the leg up just because of experience. He had 2 years in JUCO to really refine his skills. 5'10", 171, kind of on the smaller side, but I think he's like the front runner for this dime position. But do not sleep on Jermaine Coco. 93 speed, 88 acceleration, 86 agility. Better man coverage than what Casey Buchanan has. 86 man. His zone coverage is kind of weak. 83 zone. The press isn't that great, but he's got solid play rec and solid hands too. Great pursuit, great jumping. I can see, these two going back and forth before the season starts. But we also do run a quarters defense, so all 5 of these corners will probably be on the field. Let's be honest. Coco will probably play that slot, probably cover, the 4th wide receiver, and I could put Buchanan on the tight end maybe, or move one of the safeties down to play the tight end. At free safety, we have a new starter. Dustin Carey moves from the cornerback room out to free safety. I think with his size, 6'1", 186, he's going to have a great season at free. Great coverage ability, 90 man, 88 zone, 88 play rec. The tackling is not that great. He's a solid tackler. He doesn't have the greatest hit power, but he's going to be more of a coverage guy for us. If we're in our base defense and they go 3 wide, he can come down and he can cover, that slot wide receiver. Or, if we need him to play the deep half, he can play that for us as well. So with the graduation of Nate Johnson, Will Mosby becomes that hybrid safety for us. Great speed, great size, 6'1", 224, 88 speed. He's got great zone coverage, great play rec, great hit power. I can see him playing in the box, in the 4-4, also in the nickel too. But our starting strong safety this year has to be Nick Ginn. Has to be. Great speed, 95 speed, 98 acceleration, great hit power, great tackler. We could have Nick just flying all over the field this year, making tackles, making plays in the backfield. I can see him coming down into the box, being our 8th guy in the box, making tackles in the backfield. He gets off of blocks very well, especially for his size at 6'2", 177. I'm expecting another All-American season for him. And then kicker, Keaton Holt is back for his redshirt sophomore season. Not that great of a year. He was 50% last year, 3 of 6. Looking for him to have a better year this year. Hopefully we don't have to kick as many long field goals, but with his leg power, I think we should be okay. He's got a monster leg, 96 kick power, 82 accuracy. I'm expecting him to be perfect this year. And then at punter, Jacob Williamson back for his junior year, and this guy is just something special. 83 speed, 99 kick power, 91 accuracy. From what coach is saying, do not be surprised if we run some fakes with Jacob Williamson and that 83 speed. Be on the lookout for some trick plays this year. Now, as you guys can see, this team is stacked. We should be able to make a run at the national championship this year. Now, we did get a lower ranking this year. For a team that finished second at the end of last year, to fall 10 spaces to 12, it's just a slap in the face. I think this team is definitely a top 2 team going into this season. We have a lot, like I said, a lot of returning starters. The offensive line is going to be brand new. But on defense, I think we lost two key starters on defense from last year. But we have enough depth at each position that all these players that have been sitting are ready to step up and make some noise. Let's take a look at who's going to be redshirted this year. Tony Mitchell from Texas, the 6'3", 212-pound quarterback. He's going to have a year to sit. Honestly, we are stacked at quarterback. With Craig Washington going into his redshirt sophomore season. Gabe Perez is coming off his red shirt, so he'll be the backup. We have 2 very solid quarterbacks that can get the job done for us. At running back, JUCO transfer Marquise Powers is going to get the red shirt. Great speed, but again, I think with all the talent that is ahead of him, he's going to be the odd man out, so he has to be redshirted this year. At wide receiver, JUCO transfer Justin Harris from Arkansas. He's going to get the red shirt. Again, he falls into the same problem. We have a lot of talent ahead of him. We have 2 senior wide receivers and 4 junior wide receivers that are going to be looking for playing time. Justin would have just got lost in the mix. We're going to redshirt Brian Charles, the senior defensive end from San Antonio. I want him back for his senior. I want him back next season. I think Kyle is going to be playing majority of the downs this year. And we're also going to give Caleb Walker a chance to play as a redshirt freshman. Brian could come back next season, be our best defensive end on the roster. Honestly, if he goes in, works out, gets his training up, he could be our best defensive end and our best pass rusher. We're also going to redshirt Dylan Gross, the 6'7", 240-pound outside linebacker. My thinking here is he's just not going to get any playing time right now. I believe that he can come back for his senior year, be better, and he might be able to push Bowen for a start for his position next year. I just think right now Ben Bowen is probably the best left outside linebacker that we have. But Dylan Gross, if he comes back and he really works out this offseason or this entire season, he could be a starter, or he could get a lot more playing time going into season 8. At middle linebacker, Joe Nelson will get the red shirt. Again, he's just behind a lot of good players for us. Brian Jones, again, will be playing the entire game pretty much. So, Joe won't see the field at all. At corner, we're going to redshirt our 2 freshmen, James Ramirez and Bo McGee. We're taking a chance. One of these guys might transfer out. But my thinking is, again, we're junior heavy at the top. Do I think Jason Harris will be back next season? Probably not. He can declare at the end of this season, and with his traits and how good of a season I think he's going to have this year, he could declare. So that will make room for one of these guys to step in and play. But I just think that we have so many great corners right now that these 2 freshmen, I just would rather have them come back, and they would be our cornerbacks 1 and 2 going into season 9. It was just an amazing run last year. This team grew together. We talked with Coach Thomas one-on-one this week about what he expects from his team going into his 7th year, and he answered some of your questions.
Coach, thank you for taking the time out to chat with us today.
Thanks for having me, Lacey. I appreciate you guys.
Last season was sheer perfection, but you guys weren't able to play for a national championship. How did that decision by the voters impact your team?
Last year was tough. I think, we went in, we did what we were supposed to do. We won every game, dominated every game, and it just came down to a vote. It's frustrating. I felt like our team put in a lot of great work during the season, during that off season, but we can't look back. We got to keep looking forward and get ready for this year.
Well, this is your 7th season at A&M. How does this team compare to last year's roster?
Man, it's been 7 years. It's gone by so fast. I think this team is young in certain spots, but I think we have a lot of senior leadership, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm looking for Kyle Butler, Corey Mark, Craig Washington, Ira Harris, Trey Morgan. I'm looking for those guys to step up and carry this team. We have national championship aspirations, and I think this year might be our year.
4 new starters on the O-line, a new starter in the backfield, plus new starters in the secondary. Is there a concern that some of these guys aren't going to be ready in time for the Arkansas game?
The virus has really hit our team hard this year. We've had limited practices. We couldn't have a spring game. So that's going to impact some of these young guys that are getting some playing time early. I think the coaching staff is doing a great job with their units. We've had to kind of break it down, practices into different units, different groups. And then when we do have full team practices, we just had to, practice safety. Everybody has their mask on, keep it 6 feet apart. But I think, the young guys are ready to play. There's a lot of guys that are stepping into new roles, and they've shown that they can do it. They're just going to have to prove it out on the field this year.
All right, now I have some questions from Bear Nation.
Let's go, Bear Nation. Give me your best shot.
This comes from Harold Reed. Are you sure you didn't sign too many linemen? How are you going to manage the cuts and playing time?
Great question, Harold. I come from the school of you can never have too many offensive linemen or defensive linemen. I think the guys that we signed this past recruiting class, we're going to have one that's going to be pushed into the starting role at left guard. And everybody else is going to have a chance to sit and just watch. There's nothing wrong with friendly competition. It just makes the team even better. If somebody's not doing their job, it's next man up. Somebody gets hurt, it's next man up. But I think the guys that we did bring in this past offseason, they're really going to help this team in the long run.
This comes from Chungus. Great name, by the way. Is there a way any of your former players could come into your program as a grad assistant or a type of coach?
Thanks, Chungus, for the question. As far as former players coming back to the program, I'm always open to that, always open to helping former players out. I know we've had a couple of interests. Vic Johnson definitely reached out to us about coming in, being a grad assistant, so we're working with him. Maybe he can come out and help out with the wide receiving group. But, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to having some of the former players come back and be a part of this program, either as a grad assistant or, who never knows. You never know. Maybe offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator position.
Now our next question comes from Jamal. He asked, even though Dustin Carey is a great athlete, he was a great QB in high school. Are you worried he may look to transfer in the offseason?
Thank you, Jamal, for the question. As far as DC goes, I think he's happy to be here at A&M. He's going into a new role this year as starting free safety for us. As far as him playing the offensive side of the ball, you never know. I know he has had a great career as a quarterback in high school. You never know. I'm looking to get more trick plays into our playbook this year, so DC might sneak onto the field a couple times and throw a couple passes. Just got to wait and see.
And our last question comes from Godman63. Does Coach Thomas have any desire to coach in the NFL?
Thank you, Godman63, for the question. As far as desires to go to the NFL and be a coach, as of right now, I do not. I'm enjoying building this program. I think that we have changed the culture here in Arkansas. We're getting a lot more players that are here at home, wanting to stay here at home. We have a winning tradition here. Is the NFL somewhere in my future? I don't know. I can't predict that. But as of right now, I am a bear. I am a black bear. I am the leader. I am the leader of this group, and I'm going to be the leader of this group.
Thank you so much, Coach, for taking out the time. We really do appreciate you.
Hey, Lacey, thank you again for this. I know it's kind of weird. We had to do it over a Zoom call, but I look forward to having you guys here at Bear Den Stadium this season, and bear down. We're already looking ahead to recruiting, and this is going to be another interesting year. We are losing 3 defensive tackles this year, but again, we're looking for more depth. One of the concerns is at wide receiver. Tight end is a concern for us. We're always looking for pass rushers. We're adding more depth on that offensive line. I would like to get a couple more tackles, a couple more, like maybe one more tackle, one more guard on this team. Middle linebacker, running back. We're just looking to find the best players that fit what we're trying to build here at A&M. And I think you guys are going to be excited to see who is on this board. But before we get out of here, we've got to take a look at the Season 7 schedule. This is probably going to be our toughest schedule to date. We've got 5 ranked opponents set for this season. Now, if they're ranked, going into the games, that's perfect. If they're not, that's going to suck for us. But all we have to do is go out here and do what we're supposed to do, which is win games. We kick the season off with the rivalry game. Arkansas is coming to Bear Den Stadium. They're ranked 24th in the nation. They gave us a solid game last year, but we kind of blew it open in the second half. So we definitely going to be looking to do more of the same here. But then week 3 is the big one. We're headed out on the road to take on number 1 defending national champions, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This has big game, ESPN, college game day feels to it. I know that this is probably going to be our toughest match to date, but if we want to be in the national championship, we're going to have to play these top tier teams, and we're going to have to leave it all out on the field. Thankfully, we get a bye after that. Then we get more Big 12 games. We're taking on Texas Tech. They're coming to the Den. We hit the road to take on Baylor. We take on TCU, new quarterback. Ruben Taylor is graduated and gone, so it should be interesting to play them. Then we're out on the road taking on our second rival, Arkansas State. And then in week 9, it's going to be some tough games, man. We're playing Nebraska. They're 6th in the nation right now. Auburn is coming to us this year. They're ranked 15th. And then the battle of the A&Ms is back on. We're headed down to College Station to take on Texas A&M. We stay out on the road, take on Iowa State. Senior day is against Kansas State at home. And then we wrap up the season against Kansas. So again, tough schedule. We're probably going to do homecoming against Nebraska. So that means all black. We're going to black it out. And then senior day against Kansas State. So I'm excited for the schedule. I hope you guys are too. I think this could be a very big year for our Bears. If we could get past Notre Dame in week 3, fellas, we're going to be on our way to the national championship. So let's take a look at the preseason polls. Notre Dame is the number 1 team in the nation right now, coming off the big win in the national championship against Alabama, who comes in at number 2 overall. Then you've got LSU, Mississippi State, Florida. You guys see a pattern here? SEC schools. Nebraska is 6, Georgia 7, Michigan State 8. You got Indiana in at 9, Arizona is 10, Pittsburgh in at 11. You got us at 12. Texas in at 13. Texas A&M is 14. Auburn 15. Washington in at 16. Illinois is 17. Ohio State is 18. Michigan, is 19. Minnesota 20. Clemson is 21. Cincinnati 22. Tennessee is 23. Arkansas in at 24. And then you've got Stanford rounding out the top 25. Well, hello there, gorgeous. Check this out, man. Look at the Heisman watch list. Starting things off, Taylor Fenner, the running back from Notre Dame. Big year last year. Looking to do the same again this year. Then you've got Cameron Parks, the quarterback out at Washington, 6'3", 222, senior QB. But look who else is on this list. Junior running back Ira Harris from your Arkansas A&M Black Bears, and redshirt sophomore quarterback Craig Washington. Again, I think these two are going to have a monster year, especially Craig, especially in this Lincoln Riley offense. He's going to be able to throw the ball around. He's going to be able to get outside the pocket and run a lot more. This should be fun. And then you've got Nathan Coleman, a quarterback from SMU. Here's a look at the preseason All-American list. Ira Harris makes first team All-NCAA. That's a good look for him. There's Kyle Butler, the big defensive end. Again, we're expecting big things from him this year. Corey Mark is on this list as well. Oh, wow, no Brian Jones, but Jason Harris makes the list. Then you've got Nick Ginn at strong safety and Tariq Larson as our returner. Second team, Craig Washington. I think the voters are thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He's in for a big year. Wow, and Matt Scott makes second team All-American. Okay, that's a good look for him. In the Big 12, you already know we're going to be all over this list. Craig is number 1 quarterback. Ira Harris at running back. You got Trey Morgan at wide receiver. Defensively, Kyle Butler, Corey Mark. There's Bryant Jones at middle linebacker. Jason Harris, Matt Scott. And then you've got Nick Ginn. Shout out to Smoke Willis. He makes Big 12 All-American, first-team All-American. And then there's Tariq Larson. Second team, Curtis Maynard at right tackle. So, guys, I don't know about you, but I am ready to kick off Season 7. We are at home welcoming our most hated rival, the Arkansas Razorbacks, 24th ranked in the nation. They are coming to the Den. And we're looking to make a statement early in the season. We can't look too far ahead, though, because Notre Dame is creeping up in Week 3. We've got to take care of business against the Razorbacks, and then when we get to Notre Dame, we handle business against the Irish. But, yo, if you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad. And make sure you guys hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come through and join the Discord fam for exclusive content. And we'll talk from the crib, Bear Den Stadium, as we welcome the 24th ranked Razorbacks to town. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Big thank you to all the members of the channel and the Patreons. If you would like to become a member or a Patreon, hit the links down below in my description.